Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hud, and welcome back to the Baseball Hud 2. I hope you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So we're going to talk again about the players that are free agents, that have been free agents, that signed with teams that are trying to trade players, and where some of these players are going to go, or are gone. So here we go. I'd like to start at the top of the list, the top of the totem pole. We've got really three big players at the top of this totem pole, then a bunch of B-list players. A lot of players that really, there's no surprise that they're still out there on the free agent market. Let's start at number one. Shohei Ohtani, show me the money. Well, they showed him the money. The Dodgers did. That's for sure. They signed him to a 12-year, $700 million deal. It wasn't $700 million if you heard the press. They said it was $460. So it's just a little over my head. He's such a great guy. He deferred $68 million a year after he retires. Shohei Ohtani, he's such a saint. At number two on the list, on your host list, Juan Soto. He got traded to the New York Yankees with the Padres. The Padres basically got a whole bunch of middle relievers and a backup catcher. Michael King went in this deal. He's 29 years old, but he's going to be great. Okay, we'll see. Yoshinobu, I would mention about Soto. He's a free agent next year, so we'll be talking about him all year long. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the other purse puppy that went to the Dodgers, used the Mets and used the Yankees, but was going to sign with the Dodgers anyway. And he said he would have signed with the Dodgers even if Ohtani did not go to Chavez Ravine. So we got two guys with purse puppies, and they're both there. One's the biggest star in baseball, and the other guy's going to hide in the shadow. And no pressure like it would be in a New York or an East Coast setting. At number four on this list, Cody Bellinger. Where's this guy going to go? Former MVP of the National League. He's a guy, I tell you, he's a weird guy. Didn't he look like he's stoned when he was playing for the Dodgers? He didn't look so stoned last year with the Cubs. That's what people said about him. But his mark has been very strange because he's looking for $200 million. He's not gotten it yet. But we've heard the Cubs, the Giants, the Red Sox, the the Angels, Toronto, the Phillies, and Seattle. I think he'll probably go back to the Cubs, in my opinion. Next up on the list was Aaron Nola. He re-signed with the Phillies, got a 7-year deal, massive amount of money. Corbin Burns is on the trade block, I would think, at some point between now and the trade deadline. I've heard the Phillies, the Cardinals, Arizona, the Yankees. Probably not the Yankees so much now. They got Marcus Stroman. The Dodgers, I've heard, the Rangers, San Diego, San Francisco, the Angels, and the Baltimore Orioles. Willie Damas, believe it or not. I haven't heard any teams specifically, but these are some of the teams I would think would be interested in him. The Dodgers, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, the Giants. The Giants could certainly need a shortstop, and Miami. Giants could use the Braves could use a shortstop too, considering that Wander Franco's got all kinds of problems down there in the Dominican. Nobody's really talking about it. Next up, Blake Snell, the sloth. The Ali Perez, same kind of result, look-alike. The Phillies, I've heard, the Cubs, the Rangers, the Cardinals, the Giants, the Angels, Boston, San Diego. I don't think the Yankees. I think the Yankees were using him so they can lower the price with the Munchkin, Marcus Stroman. And I've heard the Mets, but I don't think the Mets are going to want to sign him to any kind of long-term deal. Next up, Jordan Montgomery. A number 3 starter that's looking for number 1 starting money. I don't think he's getting it. But I've heard the Cardinals going back there. You sign with the Rangers. I've heard the Yankees, but I don't think that's going to happen. And the Boston Red Sox. Matt Chapman. Great defensive third baseman. Can't hit a lick. Strikes out 200 times a year. I've heard the Dodgers, Toronto. Early on it was Arizona until the Diamondbacks made that trade with the Mariners for Eugenio Suarez. The Yankees, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Yankees are pretty much done what they wanted to do. The Giants, that's a possibility. I've heard the Cubs earlier today. The Tigers and Seattle. And here's a whole bunch of names that have signed. Sonny Gray went to the Cardinals. Eduardo Rodriguez went to the Diamondbacks. A new name that signed on Friday, Josh Hader, finally signed with a team. He signed with the Astros. And number 14, in the blue corner, Marcus Stroman, the munchkin on the mound. He signed with the Yankees, and the Yankees went on basically a PR tour to make sure that the fans know that he's not a toxic guy. They fallen. Shota Amanaga signed with the Cubs in a very strange deal. Jameer Candelario signed a 3-year deal with the Reds. I guess to play third a little bit, first base, provides sort of a veteran presence there. Another bat for a very, very young team. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. re-signed with the Diamondbacks. Mitch Garver signed with the Mariners. Lucas Giolito signed a 2-year deal with the Red Sox. I don't know if he's worth it. I would have given him a 1-year deal to let him get his value up and see what kind of production he would provide. Kevin Kiermaier re-signed with the Blue Jays. Jorge Soler, he's still out there. I've heard the Mets, the Giants, Seattle, the Angels, Boston, Cleveland, Toronto, and Arizona. Ideally, I would think that he would probably get 2 years for $22 million from some team. Rhys Hoskins. I've heard Miami, Seattle, San Diego, the Cubs, Milwaukee, Washington, the Angels. And lately, I've heard the Mets again. They were off this list, but they popped up again. Teoscar Hernandez went to the Dodgers and passed some money down the road, kicked some money, deferred money. Seth Lugo signed with the Royals. He just wants to start. He doesn't care where he pitches. That's going to be a lot of losing games. 95 games. They will lose 95 games in 90 to 95 games in Kansas City. Harrison Bader signed with the New York Mets. He's probably the best defensive center fielder in baseball. Has given up has saved the most defensive runs in the game by a wide margin. J.D. Martinez. We've heard Miami, Seattle, the Mets, San Francisco, and the Angels. The Mets recently, we'll see. Justin Turner again with the Mets, Miami, Seattle, Arizona, and the Angels. See where he goes. I think the Mets will get one of these DHs. I'm not sure which one yet. But that'll probably be the last move they make. The next move the Mets will make, if you're a Mets fan, will be a reliever, and then the next guy will be, I think, a DH, but we'll see. I wouldn't give Martinez more than a year, or Turner more than a year. Soler, I would. Those other guys, I wouldn't. Just because of their age and the wear and tear. Michael Wacha signed with the Royals. Kyle Gibson signed with the Cardinals. Jack Flaherty signed with the Tigers. Yuki Matsui signed with the Padres. The word is Brandon Belt might retire. We'll see. Adam Duvall, I've heard Miami and Minnesota. Jordan Hicks signed with the Giants the other day. Yariel Rodriguez supposedly is going to sign with the Blue Jays. Michael A. Taylor, I've heard Boston and Cincinnati. Tommy Pham, I heard very little. I've heard the Yankees, the Angels, Milwaukee. Boy, that would be a clubhouse with Tommy Pham and Marcus Stroman. Pham says it like it is, but he likes to win. He doesn't like nonsense. Luis Severino signed with the Mets, a 1-year deal. Ahmed Rosario and Tim Anderson kind of have the same kind of market. The Giants, Miami, the White Sox, Oakland, Tampa, Toronto, Boston. Jonathan India, he could be traded, I've heard. And it's been very quiet with him. Seattle, Boston, San Francisco. He's an extra infielder, obviously, with the Reds. Brandon Woodruff, he's got tons of teams on him that would be on him. He's going to be injured this year for a good portion of the year. But teams that would be interested in the Mets, because obviously with David Stearns haven't been here now as the president of baseball operations. St. Louis, Rangers, the Cubs, Boston, Tampa, the White Sox, Angels, Seattle, the Yankees, Arizona, Philadelphia, Atlanta, San Diego, and San Francisco. That seems like an Atlanta move. And the Mets should think about him. Because when he pitches well, he's an ace. Eloy Jimenez, I've heard him getting moved, maybe Boston. We mentioned about Woodruff. He was non-tendered, so that's why he's a free agent. Tyler Glasnow got traded to the Dodgers and then got a 5-year deal from them. Crazy. I wouldn't have signed him for that amount of years. Dylan Cease, we've heard Atlanta, Boston, Baltimore, the Yankees, Cincinnati, and recently in the last few weeks, the Mets. Shane Bieber. I've heard Cincinnati, the Cubs, Baltimore, the Yankees, and the Dodgers. Let's see. Gio Urshela Got quite the list here, and the list seems to be expanding as we get like all the big names, all the little names are starting to pop up now. Gio Urshela. We've heard the Mets, although his market has gone very quiet lately. The Mets, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays. Logan Gilbert and Randy Arozarena. That would be a pretty good swap there between Seattle and Tampa Bay. For Randy Arozarena, I've heard San Diego, Miami as well in that deal, in that kind of talk. Emmanuel Clase, I've heard the Dodgers, the Texas Rangers, and the Phillies. Be interesting to see what kind of move the Rangers make, considering that Hader went to the Astros. That certainly puts a crimp into that division. Now you got two very good relievers at the back end of that game with Presley, and now with the guy with the long hair with the stick. He looks like a stick, and he's got the long hair. Josh Hader, and he looks like a character from Joe Dirt. He does. He looks like the cousin of Joe Dirt. That's like in the major leagues. Jake Cronenworth, I heard a little bit. Detroit, the Mets. I don't think the Mets are going to do that. I've heard Jorge Polanco of the Twins, the Giants, Toronto, Seattle. Max Kepler. I've heard Seattle, Toronto, the Phillies. Christopher Morel, Cleveland, Boston, and the Miami Marlins. I don't think he'll be going there. Hyun-Sung Kim. I've heard Boston, San Francisco, and Cleveland. Let's see who else here. Christian Yelich, Toronto, the Phillies, and Seattle. Jesus Luzardo. Heard quite a few names popping up, a few teams coming up with that. The Giants, Baltimore, the Reds, the Yankees, and the Dodgers. I've heard the Dodgers are working on a deal with the Miami Marlins. Kenley Jansen. That's an interesting name. The Red Sox are trying to pare payroll down. I've heard the Dodgers, interestingly enough, maybe. Now that Hader's gone to the Astros, maybe that kind of loosens up the market for these relievers. I've heard the Phillies. I don't know if they were in on Hader, but the Rangers. I've heard the Mets. I wouldn't think that. He'd be interested in wanting to come here. He'd probably cause an issue because he wouldn't be closing games. Arizona, because you figure Jansen wants to get 500 saves. Arizona and the Yankees. Although that's kind of out the window. The Yankees aren't going to make another deal with the Red Sox. Trevor Story, I haven't heard a name attached to him. Trevor Bauer, I've heard the Angels, Boston, and Baltimore. And there seemed to be a bit of an issue with Bauer that he upset the people in Japan just recently. That he thanked some American serviceman that got into an altercation with a woman, and he welcomed this serviceman back to America. I don't know all the details. That's what I've read on Twitter. So the Japanese press and the Japanese are not too happy with Bauer. You want to sign Bauer? Go right ahead. If you're a really good team, do it. If you're a team. Again, the guy can't stay out of trouble. He does a lot of stupid stuff. He really does. Robbie Ray got traded to the Giants. Masataka Yoshida, we've heard his name a little bit. Sean Manaea, he signed with the Mets. Wandy Peralta, I've only heard two teams with him, the Mets and the Yankees. Brent Suter, he signed with the Reds. Robert Stevenson signed a 3-year deal. Get this shit. This guy signed a 3-year deal with the Angels. People were complaining that they didn't get him. Most of the people that complained about him, that the Mets didn't get him, never saw him pitch. I don't remember ever seeing him pitch. I'm just going based on his numbers. Up and down, up and down, up and down, hot and cold. And you give the guy a 3-year contract, and the Angels such a brilliant front office. They said, you know what, we lost Ohtani, but we're going to give this guy 3 years. Oh, that's great. That's going to work out well. All right. And the last name on the list, was a new list, is Aroldis Chapman. I don't have teams. I have one team, the Texas Rangers. Maybe they re-sign him, but that is the list of players that are available, the list of players that got traded, the list of players that signed with new teams or re-signed with their teams. And I hope you like this video with a little commentary by myself. I like to have a lot of fun here, and I don't care what I say, and the players are just like you and me. I just like to goof on them and have a lot of fun. This is what this is about. Are you not entertained? For God's sake. Oh, thank you for watching this video, folks. Please subscribe to Baseball Hit 2, and I'll see you later.